Clara, welcome back to my channel. This video will be a garden tour and update for mid-May 2016. If you're new to my channel, I typically do not do gardening videos, so I am not an expert gardener. I've only been gardening for the past couple years or so. I typically do videos that are related to Dollar Tree hauls and organizing, some toddler stuff, some Walking Dead stuff. So my channel is a bit all over the place. Gardening is such a fun hobby for me, and I have really enjoyed following a few YouTube channels that do gardening on a much larger scale, or they have a lot more experience than I do. So I'll include some links below about who to check out. And as always, I am open to any suggestions you might have. I know that there are a lot of people out there who have way more experience with this kind of thing. This year's garden is a bit different than last year's. I typically do edible gardening, so a lot of vegetables and herbs. Last year was a bit more of an experimentation year, so I had a bit more variety. I had zucchini last year, which I will not be doing this year only because it takes up a lot of room. And since it is container gardening, I only have a limited amount of space. Plus, I posted this really gross video last year about what happened to one of my, or several of my zucchini plants. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. But be forewarned, it's pretty gross. Essentially this year, as far as the plan goes, because who knows what can happen with gardening, I am doing some stuff that I had done last year, and I'm picking out the plants that I really liked, and I am growing more of those. So sun sugar tomatoes, which I get as starter plants, snap peas, which I grow from seed. I also love growing bell peppers, and I'm doing some from seed and some from starter plants just in case. I like growing lettuce and French breakfast radishes. Both of those are from seed. The plants that are new to my garden this year are broccoli, and I'm also trying to grow bitter melon. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's a pretty ugly looking kind of vegetable or plant or fruit. I'm not exactly sure which it is, but to me it seems more like a vegetable because it's not sweet at all. And it's not very pretty. It is bitter, which is why it's called bitter melon, and it definitely is an acquired taste. So for that one, I had to buy seeds online, and I'll include a link below of where I bought them, but I cannot vouch yet to say how successful it's going to be because this is my first year using this company's seeds. And I think I'm growing one or two other things, but as I'm going through the tour, I'll go ahead and show you where everything is. This is my Calamansi tree. It's a citrus tree, and I just have to add more soil to the bottom because the soil kind of settled during the winter. Here are some pepper starter plants that I had bought from the farmer's market, and I'm going to be pruning these to thicken up the stem and establish the roots a bit better, and then they'll be transferred to pots that are like this size. But usually for these, I will take outside so they get more sun. Okay, so here are those peas I had shown last video. They were started April 16th. And as you can see, it's getting pretty crowded, so I can thin these out so that they'll have a bit more room and more space. One issue I worry about with peas is the mildew issue. So I want to make sure I get as much airspace in between the plants as possible. And what I like to do, what I learned from gardener Gary Pilarchik, is that you can eat these shoots. They're actually really delicious. So I'll probably be thinning these out today or this weekend, and then throwing that in a salad. Here are the Butterhead lettuce. I started 416. I actually had thinned this out already, and I know these look really close together, but I had grown these last year pretty close together and they did pretty well, so I'll keep an eye on it. I might trim some back if I need to, but it looked like at the perimeter none of them really came in, and I'm kind of like at a really wet area here, so I might have to move it. And over here is where most of my herbs are, and my husband likes to throw his grill tarp on top of my herbs. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. But there's the sage. It's growing back really nicely, and right above it is a strawberry plant. I had put a couple strawberry plants in that pot. Over here is some oregano, and here is some chives. Here's that garlic that I had thrown out, and it's thriving pretty well. I just put some more soil on top of it. And then over here I had planted a few different herbs. I'd put this black plastic thing here because I was afraid that the squirrels would go digging in here. And so far they've left this area alone. But eventually I will have to be more careful because I think I'm burying the seeds too much. So here is where I planted a bunch of Genovese basil from MIgardener. And so far I only see one little thing here, maybe right there. So I might have to take some of that mulch off. It might be too much. And also on May 7th I planted some parsley over here from the Dollar Tree and some cilantro from the Dollar Tree. So this might be too much mulch, but I'll have to play with that a little bit. And then over here is a thyme plant that is growing back really nicely. Here is my other strawberry plant, and as I had done in the other pot, I put some straw mulch on top just because I want to try to prevent any diseases to the leaves from any backsplash. The strawberry plant is doing pretty nicely in there. I just put a couple in there. Here is another pot that needs to be thinned out. These are those French breakfast radishes, and I love these. When I thin these out, I'll have them probably like 1.5 inches apart, and this soil looks really wet, so I might have to put some bricks underneath so that it drains a bit better. But yeah, all these leaves are edible. They're great in omelets. Over here is that garlic, and it's still, I don't know if it's really, this is not the garlic. I don't know if it's gonna really grow back. I'll just have to see. Here I planted some spinach on May 7th, and some of it is growing in. Yeah, so we've been having so much rain lately and no sun, so I'm hoping that the sun comes in. And look at what happened to my gnome garden. This daylily is just taken over, so I will have to move this, obviously. Ooh, and there's this huge weed right there I'll have to take out. So here are some pea plants. I had put a cover because we have been getting like too much rain. I thought it was going to disturb the plant, so it's growing in nicely. I planted these April 24th. And then over here I have some roses that I had pruned, so hopefully they'll do a bit better this year. And then I plan on putting the bitter melon over here in some containers so that way it can grow up the trellis and hang down, and also in that container as well. All along the perimeter we have daylilies and hostas and some tiger lilies. I have a couple containers here. I'll probably be putting marigolds and then some other kinds of plants. And over here is where I have my seedlings. So what I do, because we've been having so much rain, is I will take the seedlings inside and put it right inside the door when it's too wet outside. But when it's sunny, like on a morning like today, I will just carry it out to the table. I know that seems probably like a lot of work, but it really only takes just a minute. So I'm happy to say that the bitter melon seeds are growing in. And what I did differently with this one was that I soaked them for way longer than I should have. The package said to soak them for only a few hours. I ended up soaking them nearly for a day and a half, which I know seems like way too much. But look at this germination. I mean, this is really great for me. Here is where I planted some peppers that I bought from MIgardener. I think they're not getting enough heat though, because I haven't seen anything yet. It's May 5th is when I planted those, so it might need a bit more time. And then these are the marigolds I bought from MIgardener. They're growing in nicely again. And this is some broccoli I had started, and some milkweed that I had gotten from Cheryl of Chic Done Cheap. These are my older bitter melon plants, and unfortunately they are not transplanting well. This one actually broke a bit because I was way too rough with it, trying to get it out of the tray and put it here. So I'll probably have to give up on this one, but we'll just leave it alone. These are some peppers I had bought from MIgardener that I had planted on April 16th. A couple starter plant peppers I bought. And these are the really old French breakfast radishes from April 1st. And because they got so leggy and crazy, I'm not expecting a whole lot. But we will see. Let's check it out. So look how crazy this radish is. But let's see. Ooh, this has some tough roots on it. But yeah, there you go. So that'll be really delicious. I love these kind of radishes. The parsley and the cilantro, they unfortunately are not doing well. They haven't had any heat or sun. So I have plenty of seeds left over that I had planted in the bed over there, and I might do additional pots that I can put on the inside of the house. These are those same marigolds that I bought from MIgardener, only these were planted April 1st, so they're growing in nicely. These are some bell peppers I bought from the Dollar Tree that I planted March 24th, and I don't know, these are not going to do well. I will see probably about these two, but yeah, we'll just have to see. And then these are the bitter melon plants that I had started, I think April 1st. Again, not doing well, but very little. So I'll probably just be using these ones. So that's really it for my tiny container garden. The only plants I have left to buy are these sun sugar tomatoes that I'll get from the farmer's market, and I also have a few flowers that I want to buy as well. I probably will be putting the majority of containers all in a clump again. Last year I had put them here, but as you can see, the houses and the trees can block a lot of the sun, so I'll probably put them here, and the sun kind of comes this way, so this should get a sufficient amount of sun, hopefully. In my area, water is not the issue. Sunlight is more of a precious commodity. So that's it. If you're doing any gardening this year, if you're growing any vegetables, any other plants, flowers, fruit, whatever, I would love to know. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care.